guys, welcome back to the Level Up podcast. When I say welcome back, welcome to the first episode where, since we've changed the name, well, not since we changed the name, but that I've addressed it as that. Because, like, other episodes were episodes I already had scheduled, and then I changed it, and I didn't have time to go back and change it. So, today, me and Jack, if you're watching, you would have seen that he's here. Jack, say hi.
Hi.
It's like my signature line whenever we have a guest. Usually it's to match up the videos, but now it's just because I want to. We're going to be talking about how to level up, get it, your reptile care. We do apologize, by the way, we're outside, but our neighbor has to get his yard work every single Friday. So if you can hear it in the background, it's probably Jack's, because Jack is using my old Timu microphone that we actually figured out how to set up like a real mic. So yeah, so that's cool. So do you wanna talk? We're gonna talk about turtles first and get kind of the one we don't know much about out of the way, and then we'll go to snakes, my favorite, and then we'll finish with Jack's favorite, which is lizards, geckos.
Yeah.
So first, turtles. I really don't know much about them. We probably should have just picked snakes and like geckos, lizards, but turtles, you're definitely going to want to have a filter. That's very important. You don't have a filter, they don't have clean water, and then they can't breathe and drink the water the right way, and it's going to mess it up. Not the right way. They're still going to drink it the same, but it's not going to be good for them. Just feel free to chime in anytime.
I mean, I really have no idea, and I don't know a single thing about turtles. I've never wanted one.
There, scoot it back a tiny bit.
I've never wanted a turtle, so I don't, or tortoise. I don't really know a lot about them.
I mean, I've wanted one before, because, like, someone at our church was like, you want a turtle? And I was like, yeah. And then he told me I was going to need, like, an 80-gallon tank, and the turtle was, like, this big. I'm like, never mind, I'm good. But, I mean, like, the thought of just, like, having a turtle is kind of cool. Like, I feel like I want to get a pet that I just watch after I already have a pet that I can interact with. Like, I'm fine to get fish now since I already have a, like, snake that I can hold whenever I want. But if you're just getting, like, fish and that's all you've got, you don't have anything to interact with. You can just watch them, maybe tap the glass, but you can't really do anything with them. So,
well, I mean, yeah, like, I wouldn't say I have, like, I don't know, I've thought about getting a turtle, but that was, like, short. I used to love turtles, but...
Well, yeah, I still love turtles. I just don't use them. Or, not use them. No, I just don't,
You're a breeder?
really... No. I like turtles, I just don't want one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's same here. I mean, if I could get one for free, I would get one. I mean, if with any pet, if I could get it for free, except if it was a boa constrictor, I would take it. Or
Yeah,
a green
unless it was
anaconda.
anything that could kill you.
Yep.
So, fun fact. Did you know most people think venomous snakes, they think that a snake is either...
Michael, we're not on the snake subject.
I was just going to say, this is a fun fact. Most people usually think either venomous snakes are going to be, the only kind of snakes that can kill you are venomous snakes that are smaller, and then big snakes, which can constrict you. But cobras can get up to, 8 or 9 feet. And they can, when they sit, when they stretch upright, they can be, almost 6 feet tall. So just fun fact.
I'm just going to say it when we get to the snake thing.
We need to scoot this chair up. I keep hitting my head on the...
Well, can we get to the snake thing? Because we have no idea anything, about turtles.
Yeah, I mean, just keep your filters clean. I'd watch Snake Discovery, even though it says snake in the name. They don't always do snakes. They do other stuff, too.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen, a leopard gecko one.
Yeah, but, so just follow the flow, I guess, unless the flow's wrong. I don't know. But just follow the flow. Get it? Because the filter's going to flow water. I'm so funny. I crack myself. But other than that, you're pretty much, I don't know. just make sure you have filter, make sure you have big enough tank, make sure you have the right food, and you can just search that up. That's what I did. I just used Google and YouTube, and I went through all the data. I sifted it down. I basically put it in a funnel and brought stuff out. So I'd see some people say this, some people say this, some people say this, and I mashed it all together to get one big answer. So, all right. So next we are going to do snakes, and this is where I have a whole lot more experience with snakes. You're just gonna really want to just you want to find the snake that's right for you. Do you want, let's see, how do I put this? Do you want a venomous snake? Do you want a small snake? Do you want a big snake? Do you want a medium-sized snake? What kind of food are you willing to feed it? So much stuff that it can come down to. Yeah, so you just want to narrow it down, see what you can get, if you know what I mean. See what you can get, where you live, and if your parents say it's okay, and if your spouse says it's okay. I don't know what situation you're in. If your kid says it's okay, but yeah. So you just want to know the situation that you're in. Know what your allowments are, and allowments is probably not a word. Just know what you're allowed to get. Yeah, but you're just gonna want to. Once again, I apologize for background noise. So once you know what you're allowed to get, do your research. That's the most important thing ever. If you get a snake and then you find out, and then you prove you didn't do your research, if you just barely got the trust of whoever you're living with to say yes and let you get a snake, and you don't know your research, then you're in big trouble. That's really all I can say. You need to know. You need to go into this knowing what you can, and knowing what you should do with it, knowing what you should do all the time with it. So, knowing how big of a tank you need, all that stuff. So make sure you do your research. Let's go into each type of snake. I recommend no one get a snake that could kill you, whether that be venomous or big enough.
Okay, let me just say something. So I have a little bit of experience. Okay, I'm just kidding. I've never owned one or had one, but I did sometime want one. I actually wanted a milk snake, or
Yeah.
it was a sand boa.
I think you wanted both of them at separate times.
So honestly, what I liked about the sand boa was it's small, and well, it was also really cute. But then you can't always tell by what it looks like. I mean, I was like, oh my word, I want that so much. Started shopping for stuff, and then I figure out, hey, looky here, it's poisonous.
No, it's not.
Well, it's mildly.
What?
Yeah,
What is?
hognose.
Oh, the
Wait,
hognose.
Isn't it? No, sand boa.
No, sand boas aren't venomous. You're thinking of a hognose.
Sand boas aren't venomous.
Boas aren't venomous.
Then why didn't I get one?
I don't know. All right, ladies and gentlemen,
the-
Jack's life has
Okay,
been forever. No boas, no pythons, no constrictors are really going to be venomous. Some are though. Some are mildly venomous, like not copperheads. Those are all the way venomous. They don't
No, sorry.
constrict.
It was the hognose that I did want. It was the hognose, sand boa, milk snake, like that stuff. And yeah, but I mean, do your research, as Micah said. Make sure it's not a snake that you think's not venomous, but then you go back, do your research, and then it is venomous. And then whoop-de-doo, you're holding it, it's feeding time, bites you, you're in the hospital.
Dead. Not kidding. Why would you be in the hospital if you're dead? You'd be at a funeral home. But anyway, so yeah, you want to do your research, and I would say, like I said, I don't recommend anyone get a venomous snake. And then, if you're gonna get a snake, I recommend. See, there's a lot of ways you can go. So you want to do your research, and then you don't want to get a snake that could kill you. And once you get that, we're kind of the best snakes you can get are small snakes and the medium-sized snakes. I don't recommend anyone get a really big snake, because there's always a chance it could kill you. I mean, I know experienced people, you could do otherwise because you're experienced, you have cages, but I don't recommend anyone start off by getting a Burmese python. Although Burmese pythons and like BCIs, common boas. Those are common boa is probably the biggest I'd say. Not that I'm gonna get one. It could still kill you. It gets like maybe 9 or 10 feet, but it's like one where yes, it maybe could kill you, but it's like big enough to where it's not as much as a hazard. Then you get into like retics that get like 16 to 18 feet long. You're just like, why would you do that? So that's what I don't recommend. And I just, let's see, what am I trying to say? Yeah, so snakes I'd recommend are hognose. Even though they are mildly venomous, it's not going to kill you. It may cause
No.
swelling
They're
and
they're actually really grumpy snakes. They don't like to be handled.
some people say that. Other people call them the best
Wait,
snakes.
was it the sand boas that are grumpy?
No, you're probably thinking of hognose, but a bunch of people have different opinions on hognose.
It all depends on your snake.
Yeah,
Like even with like a bunny, one could be like rabbit and go, "Ah," and then
a rabid rabbit.
yeah, or it could be really really nice. It all depends on the whatever it's called about them, the character traits about them.
One thing I will say is if you're kind of nervous and you're on the edge of getting a snake, don't start off by getting a snake that could kill you. Or like
Sand
if you cross out snakes that could kill you, don't even get one that's mildly venomous. Like garter snakes and
sand boa.
garter snakes and hognoses are pretty much the only two like common snakes that are like mildly venomous or venomous at all in that matter. But common, I'm gonna list a couple common like beginner slash starter snakes, or I guess just say common snakes. Hognose snake, corn snakes, ball pythons, garter snakes, milk snakes, king snakes.
Sand boas.
Pretty much a bunch of colubrids. Well, sand boas aren't really that common if you think about it. Like
Yeah.
I found out for the first time in like a top 5 reptiles for kids, and I've never seen it in any other like top 5 reptile video. So it's maybe not as common. It is a great starter snake, although it's very expensive.
Wait.
Yeah.
I mean, you
The
could
first
guess.
time I went to a reptile expo, I was going saying, all right, I'm going to get a sand boa unless they don't have it. Then I'm going to get a corn snake. I had the setup ready that was like able to house like both of them. So if I got the sand boa, it'd be fine for them. And if I didn't, it'd still work for a corn snake. I went and they were like $300 to $400. So, and they only had like 3 total at the entire thing. So I did not end up getting that. They're more rare. And so they won't be as easy to find as like a corn snake, a
Well-
ball python. And corn snake and ball python are really the most common, and some king snakes. And because like I don't know about you, but I've never gone to a pet store that's been selling garter snakes or hognose. I don't. Just the area that we live in, you don't really see those a lot. I
Yeah.
maybe seen a few at reptile expos, but
And one thing about this is the same with like leopard geckos. The more that you breed them, the more of their cost goes down. Like, you could get like these really cool morphs for like $50. That like you could get a like an albino or a tangerine for like $70 adult and like $40 for a baby. That's or like $30 for like a baby. It really depends on how long they've been in the reptile hobby. Like some like sand boas, they'll probably go down a little bit in like the next 10 years unless they stopped being bred in the reptile hobby. And yeah, so it just depends on how long they've been there. Like leopard geckos, bearded dragons, bearded dragons you can't actually get from Australia anymore. They stopped imports from there. So, like the bearded dragons and other Australian animals, they've been here for a long time. So, and they're still not that cheap. But, and they're maybe like $70 for a bearded dragon.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it
but
goes up and down, but um, so I think that about wraps up snakes. Just also, oh my goodness, we forgot the most important category: food. They do eat rodents, if you didn't know, um, which is probably a con for a lot of people. There are a few snakes that don't, but they're more expensive.
it
Well, okay, they're not
garter
always more
snake.
expensive, but like garter snakes don't really eat rodents. They don't have to, and like green snakes and king
Yeah, but
snakes eat
green
other
snakes.
snakes, which it's like the common, the like a couple common snakes. The couple common snakes that don't eat them are like garter snakes, green snakes, and maybe one or two. You can get a rat snake and technically feed it eggs, although it's not recommended. But then you have to get, then you like, it's like they don't eat rodents, which yes, you don't have to have either frozen or live rodents in your house, but it costs a whole lot more and it's harder to find the food. They do need like the African egg eating snake. They need this like really specific egg. I don't know, it's probably close to $10 for one. Um, that's just my guess. It may be more, it may be less, but it's definitely not going to be under like
Yeah, and
$2 an egg, which is really expensive when you think about it. Like, I got 25 mice for $25, and then if you're having to pay like $3 an egg and you only get like 10 eggs, that's already $30.
yeah.
So,
So let's move on to my category.
no, we're not done. We are not done. Setup wise, I recommend going with a ball python, corn snake, king snake, small stuff that you don't really have to buy this huge enclosure. Um, I can't really think of anything else. So now, Jack, before you blow your top, we can go to.
Lizards. Now,
Yeah, this is where Jack's gonna specialize, and I'm probably not gonna talk as much.
so first I'm gonna start off with honestly these. I don't know. I like them the same as leopard geckos. Like these, but this family, they're like some of the best geckos for beginners. The New Caledonian gecko family, it is like Leachianus, Gargoyle, Crested and Gargoyle. I'd say Crested is probably the most popular. Leachianus geckos are like $500 and going up to like 1,000 or whatnot. I don't know. I did want one, but they're just too expensive and you need a big enclosure. They are the biggest New Caledonian gecko. I think the biggest one in the world, but and then yeah, crested gecko is probably like the most popular. I got like this really cool morph for $50 as a baby. Probably shouldn't have got that one. It was really really jumpy at the expo, and it was just it was. I probably shouldn't have bought it, but it was a really great deal, and I was like, that looks good. Let's waste $270 on it.
You had already spent
Yeah,
$220 on
yeah. So I
it.
mean, yeah, but I shouldn't have got that gecko. But now, so yeah, they're really good type of gecko. They eat this paste, um,
Don't you
and
just love eating paste?
yeah, it's like you mix it with water. But let's go into leopard geckos.
Oh wait, one thing I was gonna say. This was supposed to be leveling up your like game and reptile keeping. We're just gonna say it's leveling up your knowledge, like common knowledge that you kind of need to know, and just kind of stepping up your like overall information about each animal. So now back to Jack.
Bro, you smell amazing. Um,
I do.
no, these
Oh,
foam covers.
smells like foam.
Mine doesn't. So then we're gonna go on to leopard geckos.
Yours doesn't smell like foam. Okay. Okay.
Anyway, so now we're gonna get on to leopard geckos. I probably have the most common knowledge about it. And I also here's the probably the biggest argument in the leopard gecko, I don't know, business or whatever. Or keeping. Bioactive.
I'm sorry. It's like it goes from like distorting because you're too close to like too quiet. So
Okay, so like bioactive or non-bioactive or loose substrate or non-loose substrate. Now I've probably the loose substrate and the like paper towel or carpet or tile or just rubber mat. That's probably the biggest one that I've heard of. So what I'm gonna say is, so I'd recommend paper towel, like the rubber mats, because you always could do loose substrate, but then I'm thinking, why risk it? Like, you're gonna spend like,
Yeah, why risk killing your animal?
yeah, when you could just have a safer option and it would still meet the standards for them. Now, if you are doing regular, like, or paper towels or something like that, you probably want to have a dig box. They like to dig a lot, and that's why people that's why people do loose substrate so they can dig in. But when they eat, they might inhale the loose substrate. Biggest thing I'm gonna say is no sand. Everyone says, yeah, it's good for them. You should totally put it in. They're like from the deserts. No sand. They're more adaptable out there, but now in here, in captivity, they're just some snobs waiting to get fed and eat and get fat. They're not as adaptable as the ones in the wild. Now, um, so yeah, as I was saying, put a dig box in there. Now we're gonna talk about the food. Now, crested gecko food and mealworms. This is off a website that I am, if I get one. I'm probably gonna get the mealworms off. Geckopia. If probably the most common ones are leopard geckos and crested geckos. Now you're like, yeah, but the crested geckos, they're gonna be less money for food and everything like that. So far, the leopard gecko has cost me less. But that's also because I got a tank for free. Um,
He hasn't got one, by the way, yet.
yeah,
He's got almost everything he needs for it. He's
yeah.
got supplies.
So, oh yes. So the big bag last time that I bought it was like 30-40 bucks. And that'll last you about like 6 months. But then you gotta buy another one, and then that's $80 a year. Now with the leopard
Which
gecko,
you make that sound like it's a lot, but compared to
yeah.
other animals, dogs, oh my goodness, don't even get me started on how much you have to pay to feed dogs.
Have you heard of the bearded dragon? It's like $3,000 a year.
Oh yeah, they have to eat like 50 to 60 crickets a day
No, it's 100.
for adults.
Yeah, 100 for adults of feeding, plus the veggies, plus the carrots. And when you think about it, crickets are not that cheap. I mean, when you buy in bulk, they're gonna be cheaper. But buying 100 times like, I don't know, like 30, like 40, like that's a lot of money down the drain just to feed this pet. And with the leopard gecko, I mean, it's probably gonna cost you. You can get like 250. It'll last you like 2 months. Hornworms, they're a lot more expensive. It's like over $1 a worm. It's like $7 for 6 worms. And they need like 3 to 4 of feeding, and you have to feed them twice a week. That's like $7 a week. So with the mealworms, you can get 250 for like, I think it's $6, and then
Are they dead or alive?
alive. I'm pretty.
How do you take care of them?
Well, I do know how to take a. Well, yeah, but I don't even have the mealworms yet. I'm not even close.
No, I'm just like saying so you can tell them. Like if you order live insects, how are you going to take care of them?
Well, here I do have a tip for crickets. They love lettuce. They will devour lettuce.
Just need water. You're going to have to
Yeah.
cheapest way to supply water, get a bottle cap and put water in that for the insects.
Yeah. So, with the mealworms, honestly, I actually have not searched it up yet. I'm mostly just seeing what to do with the enclosure right now. That's the biggest thing. Yeah, for the food, like 7 times 12 is like That's wait. Let me see.
Wait, what?
84.
$7 a week? I mean, a month?
2 months. $7 2 months.
Oh, okay.
And then that's $4 more than the crested gecko, and you're probably gonna spend a lot more on the crested gecko itself, cause babies. I got a baby for 50. Yeah, leopard geckos, they're like 30, 40. They're cheaper, so over time they're gonna be like the same price. But I honestly recommend the leopard gecko more, because crested geckos with mine, he would step in his food, then we would have to get a wet paper towel and make him walk on it, so then he could actually climb up the walls. He got that thing so dirty, like
I do remember
everywhere
that.
it was food. And I never saw him eat, even in the night when we would feed it to him. I wouldn't see him. Like, I literally put his head to it and he would look away. And I'm like, I'm trying to get you to eat here. And the breeder said it's what he's been eating. He actually showed us where to buy it at the reptile expo, and we bought it a bag for $40. And
was
then
Pretty small, too. It wasn't really a great price for the bag.
No, it would last me 6 months.
Yeah, but didn't you buy a small bag and then you bought a bigger bag
Yeah.
from on?
The like small bags, they're like 14, $15, and they'll maybe last you like a month, or maybe 2 weeks at least if you have like 2 of them. But same thing, but with leopard geckos, they're just gonna munch on it and they're not gonna like get it in their toe pads. Fun fact, like them and cave geckos are like one of the only. There might be like some more, but those are the only 2 that I've heard of, and they do not have sticky toe pads. Like the crested gecko, they do, but with them, they aren't gonna get food stuck in their
What do they have instead of toe pads?
They have claws, cause they're not arboreal. Sorry, arboreal. Like the crested gecko, so they don't have to climb. They are on sand, and for digging, so they have little claws. I mean, you could put a rock in there for them to sharpen down their claws. I've never heard of having to get them clipped. Last thing, overall, I think lizards are one of the best pets. I do not recommend bearded dragon as a beginner. Everyone says...
Even though they are recommended a lot. Kill these mosquitoes.
Okay.
Even though they're recommended a lot as a beginner pet, I'm not sure why, because they have to eat a whole lot of food.
Okay, they're like a great beginner pet. If you got like 50 grand saved up, or if you got like 3 grand saved up, just ready to waste it on that bearded dragon.
That was a big difference. 50 grand or 3 grand.
Well, yeah, 50 grand is gonna like last you a long time. 3 grand is only gonna last you like a year. But like, they need a whole lot of food, and their setting is expensive. You gotta buy them like I think like in a 100-gallon tank, or like 50-gallon. I think that's somewhere around there. But yeah, overall I think geckos are the best reptiles. True.
Well, thank you, Jack. That was a whole lot more information than I provided for snakes. I just kept getting off topic. But anyway, that is going to be it for this episode of the Level Up Podcast. Thanks, Jack, for coming on. Make sure to check out Jack's podcast, The Chronicles of Jack. At the time of recording, he only has 1, but hopefully he'll make more after he does this with me. But anyway, that's going to be it. I hope you enjoyed. See you guys, or I guess you'll hear us in the next one. I don't know. See you guys in the next one. Thank you.